Hi, this is Cranberry Spider, and you're listening to Tale of the Manticore.
The following podcast is intended for a mature audience. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome back to Tale of the Manticore, Season 3. Like the creature from which it takes its name, Tale of the Manticore is a mashup, a crossbreeding between two different species of storytelling. Here you will find the unpredictability of old-school paper and dice games with the storycraft of a dark fantasy novel. No character is sacred, and none will be spared if the dice decide their fate is at hand. According to lore, the tail of a manticore is barbed with cruel iron spikes. There will be much pain in the days ahead. Last time, on Tale of the Manticore. The last chapter begins with the discovery of the first scroll of Gallandal, a Dorothi treasure, or really, the Dorothi treasure. Since it's written in Old Zacian and will take time to fully understand, the PCs don't know what it is and simply pack it away to go over at a later time. When they continue their investigation of the Dorothi caves, they find a tunnel ending in a door. It's not locked, but it is hard to open because something heavy is on the other side blocking it. Dureni and Tentir manage to get the door open enough to see that a table has been pushed against the door. They crawl under it, get inside, push it out of the way, and the rest of the PCs enter. Beyond is a room whose obvious purpose is to house a great but incomplete map of the surrounding region. In addition to the map, they find a lantern and a skeleton clutching a note in its bony fingers. The note is the diary, or perhaps confession, of one Rector Bayum. He appears to have spent his final days alone, abstaining from all food and water as a way to repent his sins. He asks whoever finds the note to deliver the map and the scroll the PCs found in the other room to a cleric named Tobias who lives in Zacia. He also mentions a devil that lurks outside the cave mouth. The PCs decide that it's time to go back to the entrance, taking care as they cross the yellow mold room not to disturb the deadly fungus. When they reach the exit, they are stunned to find a gigantic, misshapen creature outside. Unfortunately, it sees them too, and now the PCs must face the same problem that the Dorothi failed to overcome. They debate various strategies, and in the end decide to try attacking the monster with missile weapons from the safety of the cave. Whether or not this will work is yet to be determined. The debate over how to deal with the giant forest troll, to my mind, satisfies the current event meaning of dispute magic, so we'll need a new one. Rolling D100 twice gives me attract and elements. Interesting. We'll see how that might influence the narrative in time. Needing a new event meeting is not the only reason I didn't begin this episode with an audio drama segment. No, there's something much more important that needs to happen before the PCs engage the giant troll. Today is a level up episode for Dureni. He is now a 4th level fighter, and so will receive a d6 of new hit points, an attack bonus increase, and a chance for stat increases. Let's get into it. Rolling new hit points on a d6 gives me... I got a 4, which isn't bad, and takes his current and max hit points up to 16. That's a decent start. I hope his luck will hold out as we roll 4 potential stat increases. For strength, I've got a 4, intelligence, a 1, wisdom, a 2, dexterity, a 4 for dexterity, constitution, a 5, and last chance, charisma, a 1. The dice gods simply do not want Dureni's stats to improve. His last level up was also a dud, if memory serves. Oh well, like last time, there's a silver lining. His basic 2 hit bonus goes from +1 to +2, and that's the kind of improvement that can really make a big difference. It goes without saying that the PCs will need all the help they can get, as the enemy they are about to face does not represent what would be called a balanced encounter. Not even close. It way outclasses them, and it is a deadly threat. Let's get into the narrative and see how their current strategy will play out. Chapter 33, Part 1, Day 28. Afternoon. Mythic event meaning: attract elements. Party status: Achillea, 13 of 13 hit points. Chord, 18 of 18. Dureni, 16 of 16. Tentir, 15 of 15. Fairwind, 26 of 26. Supplies. The companions have 8 portions of food remaining. Spells available. Achillea can cast Shrink ×2 and Glitter Dust. Chord can cast Entangle and Slow Poison. Dureni took a deep breath and pulled an arrow back far enough that the fletching touched the tip of his nose. Then he ducked out from the cover of the broken front door frame that filled the aperture of the cave mouth and fired. Behind him, Tentir loosed his well, and then came the sound of Fairwind's sling. 3 missiles flew towards their target, a monstrous column of corded muscles and wiry black hair, with pits for eyes and a long, misshapen nose that hung over a wolf's grin. Since the giant forest troll will be unable to retaliate, I'm not going to enter into combat or even roll initiative at this time. The circumstances dictate that the 3 PCs who have ranged weapons can each make a free attack. The troll has an armor class of 16, and so Dureni will need a 13 to hit it, while Tentir will have to roll a 14 or better, and Fairwind will require a 17 because of his dexterity penalty. Here come the rolls. Dureni fires. A 5 is a miss. Tentir is next. A 14 hits, and does 6 points of damage. Last to go is Fairwind with his sling. A 2 doesn't come close. Since first blood has been drawn, I suppose I'll need to roll up the monster's hit points. Rolling 8d8 gives me, let's see, 35 hit points. The minnow number is 32, so there's no adjustment to make. But after Tentir's hit, that number is reduced to 29. Let's return to the narrative and see how this plays out. Dureni pulled back behind cover, hugging the broken timber door frame. His first good look at the monster had shaken him, and his heart thumped in his chest.
I don't think I hit it,
he rasped.
I'm pretty sure I did,
said Tentir. His eyes were wild, and a sheen of sweat glossed his forehead, despite the cool of the caves. In fact, Tentir was certain he had hit the creature. He had seen his arrow strike its muscle-packed abdomen. Fairwind was also now back behind cover. He was visibly shaking. Dureni wasn't sure how much help Fairwind was going to be. He had seen the cleric's slingstone fly way over the giant's head. But Tentir's hit had elicited a terrible roar from the giant creature, and they had heard it stalk off to one side. When Dureni poked his head back out to steal a look, the village basin was empty, but it only took a second for him to hear the heavy breathing and then catch a whiff of the monster's rank odor. He ducked back into safety.
It is off to one side. I do not think I will be able to get off another shot. Maybe I can...
A little noise interrupted the elf. When he looked over to where the sound had come from, there was Tentir's arrow, bloodied to the fletching, on the cave floor. The creature must have pulled it out and thrown it back at them in challenge. Tentir looked at Dureni.
What now?
I'm not sure, little mouse,
was the reply.
Maybe I can see where it went, if I am quick.
Dureni once again stuck his head out just far enough past the wooden frame to allow himself a glimpse of the monster. No sooner had he done so than something huge came whooshing his way. Giant forest trolls do not normally use weapons, but since the companions are out of its reach, it has yanked a stake free from the ground, flicked off the corpse impaled on it, and is about to try to crush Dureni's skull. Of course, Dureni has almost full cover, so the giant troll will need to roll extremely well to connect. Normally it would need a 9 to hit Dureni's AC of 15, but in this case, I'm going to impose a -8 penalty for the cover and the hard-to-reach location Dureni currently occupies. That means the elf is safe unless I roll a 17 or better. Fingers crossed. Here's the roll. I got a 15. Dureni manages to pull back just in time to avoid having his head obliterated by the stake, which slams into the doorframe, producing an ear-splitting crack and sending bits of dust and splinters everywhere. When Fairwind, Tentir, and a badly shaken Dureni returned to the guard room through the narrow tunnel, Achillea was in the middle of explaining something to Cord. At first, she didn't see them.
So they waited, and the thing never left. And then they waited some more with the same result. Eventually, they would have been too weak from hunger and thirst to do anything but wait until they simply starved. You see? And that's how we found... they're back. Dureni, are you all right?
Dureni answered in a hollow voice.
Yes, we are all right. Tentir heard it.
I think I only managed to anger it, to be honest,
said Tentir, rubbing the back of his neck. Fairwind was with the two elves, but he didn't even look at Achillea and Cord. He was muttering a prayer under his breath and looking up at the tunnel ceiling as though the solution to their predicament might be written across it. Once they were all together, Dureni lifted a finger and said,
"Shh, listen."
They did so, but there was no sound. The slightest tinge of hope found its way into Dureni's tone when he next spoke.
Is it possible that Tentir's arrow drove it off?
Dureni didn't even have the chance to finish the question before it was answered by a barrage of aggressive snarls, roars, and the sound of breaking timber. Achillea was the first to understand how their situation had just gone from bad to worse.
The stairs! If that thing destroys the stairs, we'll be trapped up here with no quick way down.
She was right, of course. The stairs attached to the stone wall of the hillside had been in fairly good condition, especially compared with the rest of the Dorothi village when they had come in. But if they were destroyed, the companions would have no choice but to descend using Dureni's rope, and that would make them ridiculously easy targets for the monster. Even as they were, the stairs would slow them down somewhat, as their use was only possible in single file.
There's no time to lose. We have to do something right now. Come on,
said Achillea. She started to go, but then stopped in her tracks. She turned back to Dureni.
Right? We have to go now?
Dureni's nod was what she needed. Once she had it, she ran back through the pinched tunnel and towards the square of daylight that was the cave entrance, with the words of a spell already forming on her lips. The others followed at her heels. Well, this is it. The PCs are going to have to engage with the giant forest troll. I think their plan will be to try to run past it, casting spells and using missile weapons as they go. Since they'll need to navigate the stairs in single file, I'll need to set up a marching order. Although Achillea will be the first there, she won't be the first to use the stairs. That will be Fairwind, who's the worst shot. Then it'll be Cord and Achillea, while Dureni and Tentir continue to provide covering fire, before following the others down. And, oh yeah, I almost forgot. There's one more thing to mention. If this encounter continues past 2 rounds, an event, something special, will be triggered on round 3. This isn't a random thing, but the result of a story that's been running in the background for a little while, behind the curtains. Maybe you can even guess what it is. Anyway, with that settled, we are finally ready to get to the action.
Entering combat.
Round 1. Initiative. The party. A 1. The giant troll. A 5.
Fairwind, wait!
Cries Dureni. The cleric has started running before Achillea can finish her spell, but he falters at the first step, seizing up in panic when he beholds the gigantic creature suddenly upon him, and realizing just how exposed he is. It will take at least 10 seconds to descend the stairs, and while he's doing that, there's no defense but prayer.
Skull, save us!
He sputters, and then plunges down 2 steps at a time. At the bottom he can see a stone well. The plan is to run past that, and then away, in a straight line. They'll worry about regrouping later. Unfortunately, Fairwind's moment of hesitation has a cost. The troll is quicker than it looks, and tossing the wooden stake in its hand aside, it lunges at him. Giant forest trolls have a preset attack routine that rotates through the following: grab and slam, grab and bite, or grab and throw. I'll roll a d6 to see which one it'll start with. Let's assign a 1 to 2, 3 to 4, and 5 to 6 to the 3 kinds of attack. Here's the roll. A 6. Grab and throw. Okay, that's what we start with, and we'll rotate through the attack types in order from here on in. Fairwind has a pathetic AC of 10, and the troll has an attack bonus of +6, so it only needs to roll a 4 or better on a d20 to hit. I've got an 11. Well, yeah. we are not off to a good start. A huge hand snatches Fairwind by the right arm and plucks him off the stairs before flinging him in the opposite direction he was heading. The cleric will take 5 points of damage as he hits the ground hard. The damage isn't so bad, but Fairwind is now in a difficult spot. The monster is standing between himself and where he wants to go. If that's not bad enough, things get worse when Tentir pops out from cover to loose an arrow and notices that the spot on the monster's abdomen where he'd previously shot it now shows no trace of any injury at all. Hopefully the shock of that won't throw off his aim. Tentir needs a 14 to hit. The roll. A 2. His arrow goes wild. I guess he was that surprised. Dureni will also fire, and he needs a 13 to hit. His roll? A 19 is good. His arrow will do 4 points, and take the troll, which had regenerated back to full health, down to 31. Achillea is next. She casts Glitter Dust, using her wand to focus the spell's power. This causes a 20-foot cube of glittering magical particles to appear that will force the troll to save versus magic or be blinded for 1 to 4 rounds. Unfortunately, since the sparkling cloud persists for about half a minute, going forward, any creature the troll might grab and pull towards it will also have to save. Had the party not lost the initiative, this problem wouldn't have happened, but it would be very meta to retcon Achillea's intentions at this point. I think the PCs intend to throw everything they have at this thing, and so Cord follows up by casting Entangle. Now, I feel a first level spell would not be enough to hold back a giant-sized creature, but I'll have the troll save to avoid being unable to move for 1 round sounds fair. To be clear, its ability to attack will not be affected by the Entangle spell, only its movement. The save. A 3 fails, and the troll is not only blinded by a great puff of silver gold dust that explodes from a spot right beside its head, but is also grabbed around the ankles by animated grasses and vines on the ground. It roars in frustration, and that concludes round 1. Round 2. The giant troll regenerates 2 hit points and now has 33. Initiative. The party. A 2. Uh-oh. The giant troll. A 1. Okay. This monster doesn't know what hit it, and the PCs go first. Fairwind looks from the tree line and the safety it represents, then back at his companions, and finally to the sling in his hand. He decides to take a shot.
Sidal, guide my hand.
He flings the stone, needing a 17 to hit. Will he hit? Boom! Natural 20. Did not see that coming, and neither did the troll. Fairwind, you are full of surprises. Damage will be the maximum plus an extra die for the crit. 6 points. He manages to smack the troll right on its temple. There's another frenzied roar of pain and frustration. Now Cord takes to the stairs, while the opportunity is ripe. He scrambles down the planks toward the stone well as fast as his wooden feet will take him. Dureni and Tentir both fire while the enemy is off balance. Dureni's roll. A 15. That's a hit. Damage is 3 points. Tentir tries as well, but a 3 misses. He's distracted because he can now clearly see the monster's wounds closing on their own. He calls out to the others.
The damned thing can regenerate!
Achillea will go last, and I think it only makes sense that she casts the spell Shrink, once again using her wand to focus her energy. The giant troll will need a 12 or better to resist the spell. The roll. An 18. It does manage to deflect the magic somehow, and Achillea's spell is wasted. It's now the monster's turn to attack. Since it is almost literally rooted in place this round, it only has one choice of target: Cord. With all bonuses and penalties considered, the troll needs a 12 to hit. The roll. Ooh, a 17 will certainly hit, and this will not be pleasant. The troll snatches Cord up, pulls him into the silvery gold dust of Achillea's spell, and then with tremendous force, smashes him back down into the timbers from which the stairs are built. Damage will be bad, 2d6 plus 7 bad, and there's a chance, albeit a small one, that the construct will die right here. Rolling. 8 plus 7 is 15 points. Just like that, Cord is down to 3 hit points. It all happened so fast that Cord cannot parse the experience. He feels himself go up and then come back down and through the stairs, which sunder under the impact. Even worse, Cord will have to save versus spells or he too will be blinded. A 15 or better on a d20 is needed. His roll. An 11. For the next 4 rounds, Cord cannot see. I am not loving the way this combat is going, but there's no getting away at this point. The companions will have to fight it out. A reminder that as we enter into the next round of combat, a special event will be triggered on the party's turn, and it has the potential to really shake things up. Let's find out if it will as we enter round 3. The giant troll regenerates 2 hit points and now has 29. Initiative. The party. A 3. The giant troll. A 2. The giant troll is completely disoriented, slowly rotating in a circle, swiping at the air and snarling. It's Achillea's turn to try and run down the stairs, but Tentir stops her.
Let me go first,
He cries, drawing the sword of Lirhain and rushing down ahead of her. There's now a broken section of the stairs where Cord was attacked. When Tentir comes to it, he leaps across without breaking stride, all the while yelling a battle cry.
Yeah!
Achillea and Dureni will both attack from their vantage with dagger and arrow. Achillea will need a 15 to hit with her weapon. An 8 misses. Too bad. Maybe Dureni can do better. Crap. A 9 will not do it. The troll is a huge target, but it has thick skin that can turn an imprecise shot. Cord, lying in the wreckage of the broken section of staircase, is blind, and I don't see how he can realistically participate in the fight this round. Somewhere in the trees nearby, Robin can be heard tweeting madly. Fairwind is up next. He'll try another slingstone. Can he repeat the impossible? A 7 means he cannot. This stone bounces harmlessly off the giant monster's back. This is the point where my special event is triggered. Here's what happens. With a familiar sound, a white shape apparates right beside the giant troll and springs to attack. It's one of the blink dogs the PCs saved back in episode 25. It has been following them all this time, and, in gratitude for its life, will now fight to the death on the PC's behalf. The blink dog needs a 14 to hit. Here's the roll. 17. Good boy. Damage from the bite will be 5 points, bringing the giant troll down to a still formidable 24. Now, since the blink dog has appeared right in the middle of Achillea's spell, it too will need to save in order to avoid being blinded. The target number is 14. Here's the roll. A 15. Well, okay, I'll take that. There's more good news to share here because the blink dog is the only real target for the giant troll's attention. And, according to the rules, if the blink dog wins initiative, it will blink away before the opponent can retaliate. So, the giant troll's huge clawed hand slams down on the ground, but the blink dog is already elsewhere. Round 4. The giant troll regenerates 2 hit points and now has 26. Initiative. The party. A 4. The giant troll. A 1. That's lucky. Winning the initiative is always important, but it's going to matter even more than usual in this fight. Achillea will take to the stairs as Dureni lets fly yet another shaft at the troll. A 15 is good enough. His arrow strikes true, doing 6 points. Wowza! For the first time, they see this giant monster stagger. By now, Tentir is at the bottom of the stairs. He takes one look at Cord and yells,
Stay there!
Then, he looks at the shimmering cloud surrounding the monster 3 times his height, seems to consider for the space of half a second, and curses.
Chujin's braid, what am I doing?
Before running headlong into melee. He'll need to save versus spells now or be blinded. The 16 is the target number. A 12 fails. Tentir cannot see. His chance to land a hit drops to a dismal 15%, or an 18 or better on a d20. Here's the roll. A 16. Close, but not close enough. The sword of Lirhain cleaves nothing. Fairwind can no longer use his sling without risking friendly fire, and his only spell, Purify Food and Drink, was used earlier in the day, so his best move is probably to change position so he's closer to the bottom of the stairs and the rest of the party. This repositioning while avoiding melee will be his only action this round. The blink dog can once again blink in and strike. Having saved once to avoid being blinded, it need not save again. Its attack. A 13 is just shy of the target number. I wonder if the attack will have drawn the troll's attention away from Tentir. I'll roll high-low. High means the troll attacks the blink dog. A 13 is high, and that means that once again, the giant forest troll's attack comes too late. It lifts a huge foot, intending to stomp the dog flat. but when it comes down, the dog has already blinked away. Well, that was a good round for the party, mostly, but there's bad news coming, because by next round, the troll's blindness will have worn off. It is round 5. The giant troll regenerates 2 hit points and now has 22. Initiative. The party. A 2. The giant troll. A 5. Yeah, that streak couldn't last forever. And I think we know what this looks like. The giant troll's eyes burn bright red. It looks straight at Tentir and smiles a hideous gargoyle grin. But hang on. There's actually only a 50% chance it will target Tentir, because the blink dog is very much still in this melee. So it'll be high-low, and once again, high will indicate the blink dog is the target. An 18 says it is. Tentir is blindly feeling out in front of him with the tip of his sword when the blink dog suddenly apparates on the troll's left and draws its attention. The troll needs a 9 to hit it. A 13 means it does hit. Let's see. The last attack was the grab and smash, so this is... it's grab and bite. The dog is plucked from the ground and pushed into the troll's open maw. At 2d8 plus 4, damage will be bad. He was hoping for a low roll. I got a 9 on the dice, plus 4 is 13. But how many hit points does the blink dog have anyway? When we met it, I maxed out hit points at half. So I think I need to re-roll, and this time, min out per my usual house rules. Let's see. 4d8 gives me 16. So the good news is that the blink dog is not killed by the bite. The bad news is that it comes pretty darn close. With 3 hit points left, it is tossed to the ground, bloody and limp, where it whimpers and whines in pain. That was rough, but at least it is now the party's turn. Durrani draws his sword and begins to run down the stairs. Achillea stopped at the damaged section of stairs, where she looks down upon the broken, but thankfully still moving, shape of Cord. With a curse, she flings her last spell at their enemy. Once again, the troll needs to make a 12 to save. Here comes the roll. A 15. Hard luck, Achillea. It seems that this giant troll will remain giant. Cord, sitting in a pile of broken wood, is still blind and near death. There's nothing he can really do this round. Likewise, Fairwind can't do much more than watch the fight, unless he wishes to enter melee and risk blindness, which he does not. That leaves Tentir and the blink dog. The blink dog picks itself up and launches a ferocious series of feints and strikes. But a 9 misses, and the troll easily kicks it away. It's up to Tentir to land a blow, but he's gonna need an 18 to hit. It doesn't look good. Fingers crossed. A 15 is a good roll, but it is still a miss. Round 5 was pretty bad for the PCs. Let's hope the tide will turn in round 6. The giant troll regenerates 2 hit points, and now has 24. Initiative. The party. A 3. The giant troll. A 1. Thank Ahea for that. The companions really need to start dishing out some damage at this point. Achillea's glitter dust cloud has turned out to be a mixed blessing, to be honest. Maybe she was unwise to cast it. Well, that's spilt milk, and this is no time to armchair general. Let's get back to the fight and make some attack rolls. Tentir continues to slash wildly. An 8 misses. The injured blink dog snarls and tries to tear a chunk out of the troll's leg. A 16 will hit. 4 points of damage for the bite. Durrani and Fairwind both consider entering the melee, but they can see that the silvery gold cloud from Achillea's spell is dissipating quickly. If they wait just one more round, they won't have to risk going blind. It's a hard decision, especially for Durrani, who's forced to watch his brother struggle, but both of them choose to hold back. At this point, Cord suddenly sits up. His vision has returned. With an amount of bravery approaching lunacy, he gets up and throws himself into the fray. And I'm not so nasty as to make him save again. He needs a 16 to hit with his battle axe. A 10 is not going to do it. Jinkies, is it already the troll's turn to attack? I think it is. The monster now has 3 potential targets. It'll be a random roll between Tentir, Cord, and the blink dog. Rolling. It's Tentir, and the troll need only roll a 9 to hit him. Here we go. A 16 is a hit with room to spare. Luckily for Tentir, his will be the grab and throw attack, which only does a d6 of damage. Here's the roll. Ouch, a 5. Tentir is flung out of the fight. He lands on his back and gets the wind knocked out of him. During the next round, he'll miss his turn. Round 7. The giant troll regenerates 2 hit points and now has 22. Initiative. The party. A 5. Good roll. The giant troll. A 6. Dang it. This round, the troll will choose between the Blink Dog and Cord, and also Dureni and Fairwind, who enter the fight at this time, now that the Glitter Dust spell has expired. I'll roll a d4 to see who gets attacked. The 3, that's Dureni. Looks like the giant troll needs a 9 or better to hit. The roll. Huh, a 4. I was fully expecting a hit there. Dureni dives out of the way. He lands in a roll and then springs up to his feet with his blade up. He'll try to hamstring the monster. 10 will not do it. Fairwind swings his cudgel while the creature is distracted. He needs a 16 to hit. A 3 fails. Cord, cracked and broken in a dozen places, still has the strength to wield his axe. He also needs a 16. A 16! Nice, Cord. Damage will be just 1 point. Perhaps the Blink Dog can score a decent hit. Oh, brother. A 1. That's a critical fail, and the Blink Dog will miss its next turn. Tentir will spend this round re-entering combat, and so we are on to round 8. The giant troll regenerates 2 hit points and now has 23. Initiative. The party. A 3. The giant troll. A 2. There is now blood all over the battlefield, and the combatants are beginning to tire. Somehow the PCs manage to find a second wind and surge forward with everything they've got. We really need some significant hits, because at this rate, the chance for a PC death is extremely high. Dureni swings his sword. A 19 is plenty. His sword does 4 points. A good start. Tentir, still blind, attacks when Dureni calls out,
Tentir, it's on your right!
but a 10 on the die means he misses despite the help. Cord is next. A 17 means the construct lands another hit. Damage is on a d8. Come on, big money. 5 points. The axe blade shears through the monster's side, splitting a rib or two and producing a gout of bright blood. Now at 14 hit points, the giant troll staggers once again. A morale roll is going to be required before its next action. But before that, I've still got Fairwind's attack. The cudgel swings in and, with a 14, it bounces harmlessly off the troll's knobby hide. That's it for combatants. Achillea can only stand at the perimeter and watch, and the Blink Dog will spend this round limping back into the fight. So now it's the troll's turn, but it needs to make a morale check. A typical troll has a morale of 10, so this kind must have, what, an 11 sounds right? That means only double 6s will indicate flight. Worth a shot though. Here goes nothing. Oh, my goodness, those are double 6s. The force troll decides the meal isn't worth the price. Its leering grin is gone, and with a grunt, so is it, as it suddenly turns and stalks off into the woods. And just like that, not in any way I might have predicted, combat is over. Thank you for listening to Tale of the Manticore. This episode has run long, so I'll make this sign off very quick. Gratitude goes out to my core cast of Kyellen, Kevin Berenger, and David Cooper, who played Dureni, Tentir, and Fairwind respectively. Thanks as always, guys. And back one last time, at least for now, is Robert Newman, who designed the FX for the Giant Forest Troll. Check out Robert's other work at robertnewmansound.com. That's all for now, but the story will continue next time on Tale of the Manticore, the story where chaos rolls.